Hi there, it's July 12th and time for Proverbs 12. Let's over here. And some of these are to hide it. I started this before and the computer updated and reset everything and the mic wasn't working. And I got all the way down to verse 12 before I realized it wasn't working. So we're starting over. So there you go, deep in the Proverbs now. First one, whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but one who hates correction is stupid, right? You hate to be corrected, right, by a wiser person? That's prideful, okay? God doesn't like pride, right? Whoever hates correction is stupid. And we're not talking about critics, okay? Critics just tear people down, okay? You should never tear anyone down. It's the only kind things. 2, the good person obtains favor from the Lord, but he condemns a man who schemes. Wicked imaginations, it says over here. Scheming. Man cannot be made secure by wickedness. But the root of the righteous is immovable. Right? Put all these righteous ones together. It's fun. Verse 4, a capable wife is her husband's crown, but a wife who causes shame is like rottenness in his bones. Capable wife. What's this? A wife of quality or a wife of good character. Right. There it says a virtuous woman. Strong. And helper. 5, the thoughts of the righteous are just, but guidance from the wicked leads to deceit. Can you say you have just thoughts? Okay. Not enough to just say kind things. You have to think kind things too. 6, the words of the wicked are a deadly ambush, but the speech of the upright rescues them. Right? The words of the wicked are a deadly ambush. Talking of the wicked is to lie in wait for blood. Right? Speech of the upright rescues them. Saying good things, right? 7, the wicked are overthrown and perish, but the house of the righteous will stand. Got that? 8, a man is praised for his insight, but a twisted mind is despised. Right? A twisted mind. The forward of heart shall be despised. Okay, 9. This one required some study, and the meaning is actually different. Okay, if you go back to the Hebrew, right? And it's very closer over here. Right? It says here, better to be dishonored yet have a servant than to act important but have no food, which doesn't make sense in today's world, right? 1599, it says, he that is despised and is his own servant is better than he that boasteth himself and lacketh bread. Right? The poor man that is contemned and yet liveth of his own travail. Right? So, a closer one is better to be dishonored and yet be able to take care of yourself than to act important but have no food. Right? And there's a lot of people living, it's called a facade. You live a facade. You make people think that you have something that you don't. 10, a righteous man cares about his animal's health, but even the merciful acts of the wicked are cruel. You can tell a man's heart by the way he treats animals, any animal, okay? If they would just as soon run over a squirrel than break for it, all right? Kick dogs, all right? God says he put us in care of the animals, all the animals, not just dogs and cats, okay? He put us in care of all animals. That means birds and squirrels and chipmunks, right? You can tell a man's heart. All right. 11, the one who works his land will have plenty of food, but whoever chases fantasies lacks sense. right? Chasing fantasies. Everybody knows somebody that does that. One of these days, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make $1 million. But they never get a job and feed themselves. 12, the wicked desire what evil men have. Right? I got a little note here. Stronghold of evil. But the root of the righteous produces fruit. Right? The root of the righteous produces fruit. That's a deep statement. 13, an evil man is trapped by his rebellious speech, but a righteous one escapes from trouble. Right? How do you do that? By keeping your mouth shut. It says that all over Proverbs, too. 14, a man will be satisfied with good by the words of his mouth, and the work of a man's hands will reward him. That's a big one, huh? Right? A man will be satisfied with good by the words of his mouth, and the work of a man's hands will reward him. Right? And that's an important statement. All right? You will be satisfied by the things that you say. Okay? If you say kind things, uplifting things, edifying things, you don't tear people down. Right? 15, a fool's way is right in his own eyes, but whoever listens to counsel is wise. Okay? Right? We could highlight all these. Listen to wise counsel. Okay? 16, a fool's displeasure is known at once, but whoever ignores an insult is sensible. Okay? Can you just let that stuff roll off? People insult you not because they're trying to tear you down, they're trying to build themselves up. Okay? You don't have to be part of that. It's like, whatever, It's like, whatever. Right? 17, whoever speaks the truth declares what is right, but a false witness, deceit. Right? Trying to deceive somebody. That's lying, okay? False witness is a liar. God hates liars. 18, there is one who speaks rashly like a piercing sword, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. Right? Over here, prickings of his sword, which seek nothing more than to provoke others to anger. Right? Just want to make people angry. The tongue of the wise bring healings, right? Am I saying? Right? Say kind things. And then think kind things, okay? If you only think kind things, you'll say kind things. 19, truthful lips endure forever, but a lying tongue only for a moment, right? You could tell 1,000 lies, and the truth will always be the truth. There is one truth, and it will always be there. It will never change, right? 20, deceit is in the hearts of those who plot evil, but those who promote peace have joy. You want joy? Right. Promote peace. No disaster overcomes the righteous, but the wicked are full of misery. Never happy, are they? Never fill that spot where Jesus belongs. 22, we said this, right? Lying lips are detestable to the Lord, but faithful people are his delight. A false witness, lying lips. Right? 23, a shrewd person conceals knowledge, but a foolish heart publicizes stupidity. You ever seen a prideful person tell you how it goes and he doesn't know what he's talking about, right? And a shrewd person conceals knowledge. If you're wise, you are wise for yourself. It says that in Proverbs 5, I believe. All right? You're not publicizing it. Okay? If somebody asks you, that's one thing, but otherwise, keep your mouth shut. All right? Conceal it. 24, the diligent hand will rule, but laziness will lead to forced labor. Yeah. I think we need more of that. Forced labor. Anxiety in a man's heart weighs it down, but a good word cheers it up. Look, I have a note here. Worry. Worry. Right. Worry. How do I get rid of that? Turn that off? Nope. No, I can't get rid of it. I gotta go all the way back to the top here. There we go. Anxiety. Worry. Okay. Heaviness of heart, it's over here. But, right. Anxiety in man's heart weighs it down, but a good word cheers it up. Say good words to people. Good, kind words. Worry weighs your heart down. Yeah? Nothing is worth worrying about. You can't change it by worrying, right? 26. A righteous man is careful in dealing with his neighbor, but the ways of the wicked lead them astray. Why is that? There you go. What's the note here? Or man guides his neighbor. A righteous man is careful in dealing with his neighbor. They live right next door to you, so you don't want to make them mad or angry or hate you, right? 27. A lazy man doesn't roast his game, but to a diligent man, his wealth is precious. Right? Have you seen hoarders? Yeah? They just want to get things. They never use them. They just get them. For the pride it gives them in having something, right? And pretty soon they have so much stuff they don't use. Right? That's what this is about. You get something and you don't use it. You just want to have it. Right? I just want to have it. Right? To a diligent man, his wealth is precious. You use all your stuff. If you don't use it, give it to somebody who can use it. Right? And 28. There is life in the path of righteousness. Right? But another path leads to death. You know that. Or righteousness, and in its path there is no death. Right? I like that one better. Life is in the way of the righteousness, but in that way there is no death. Right? Right? Death has lost its sting. Right? There you go. Let's put all these righteous ones together just because it's fun. The root of the righteous is immovable. That the thoughts of the righteous are just. And this up here, the root of the righteous is immovable because you are grounded in truth, okay? Jesus is truth. You are grounded in truth. You will be immovable because the truth never changes. It is always the truth. Lies change. Lies change all the time, right? The root of the righteous is immovable because it's grounded in the truth. The thoughts of the righteous are just. You get that? If you're pursuing righteousness, you shouldn't think evil thoughts. Okay? Jesus said, love your enemy. The house of the righteous will stand. Okay? Again, why? It is grounded in truth. Okay? A righteous man cares about his animal's health. But even the merciful acts of the wicked are cruel. Right? The way you treat animals says a lot about you. The root of the righteous produces fruit. Right? If you're grounded in truth, right, and you're built on this solid rock, you will produce fruit. You can't not produce fruit by being grounded in righteousness. Right? A righteous one escapes from trouble. Right? God will always be with you. Right? No disaster overcomes the righteous. Okay? They can't take your life, and I mean, and if you do die in this life, you instantly go to be with Jesus. So, right, which is a better thing, right? So there's lots of I mean, things happen when the storm comes, it says. It never says if, it always says when the storm comes. And they come. A righteous man is careful in dealing with his neighbor. No. Or a man guides his neighbor. Right. You be careful in dealing with your neighbor. Mm-hmm. There is life in the path of righteousness, but another path leads to death. Or, and in the path of righteousness, there is no death. Okay? There you go. There's the righteous ones. Well, he says, I'm going to take the whole Proverbs and put all the righteous ones into one chapter. All right. What else is highlighted in here? This because of study. Better to be dishonored and yet be able to take care of yourself, right? That's what it means by have a servant. And to act important and have no food. Lots of people do that. All right. I remember driving by in my travels, I would drive by a couple of churches who on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, they would give away food. Okay. They would give away food to the people who didn't have enough food, bags of groceries. And I would drive by there at just the right time, like 2 PM or something, when they were, well into it. And I would see Cadillac Escalades parked there and Explorers and big Suburbans and, fancy cars and to get free food. Okay. Right. Those are people that act important but have no food. Because they're looking for honor and reputation from people they don't even know. Makes no sense to me. Okay. 11 is highlighted. The one who works his land will have plenty of food, but whoever chases fantasies lacks sense. Right. He that tilleth his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he that followeth the idol is destitute of understanding, or defense, or lacks sense. 14 is highlighted. A man will be satisfied with good by the words of his mouth. And the work of a man's hands will reward him. Okay? What you say, right, shows your heart. Okay? If you say evil, despicable things, that shows your heart. Okay? Say good things. Yeah. And this was fun. A fool's displeasure is known at once, but whoever ignores an insult is sensible. Right? He that covereth shame is wise. Let's say here. Bridleth his affections. Right? Can you just let stuff roll off you and say, whatever, sorry you feel that way. Because when people insult you, they're doing it to build themselves up, right? So people will look down on you and up on them. Yeah? True or not. So just ignore them, right? 18. There is one who speaks rashly like a piercing sword. Right? These are these people that are insulting people. Right? But the tongue of the wise brings healing. Right? Everything you say, if you're pursuing wisdom like we are, everything you say should be healing, should be kind, edifying, uplifting. Right? And it's not easy in this world, but that's why it says you think, how you think. 23, a shrewd person conceals knowledge. Right? Not prideful, you're not boastful. You just, most of the time, just keep quiet. Unless somebody specifically seeks you out and knows that you excel in a certain area and you could help them in that area. Right? That's the wise seeking out the wise. Okay? Otherwise, conceal it. Okay? There you go. That's Proverbs 12. Lots of good stuff in here. You could go at these with different angles and completely, get something different out of them. That's why we're doing it over and over again. Okay. This is the 23rd time through. And you could go back and listen to the same chapter 22 times and something different will be in there every time. That's why you read the Bible over and over again, right? And never stop reading, never stop praying, never stop seeking the Lord, never stop saying kind things. Okay? So there you have it. Stay tuned later today. We are in Acts and are through the New Testament in a year. Okay? Paul and Silas are doing things, right? So stay tuned for that. But give us a like if you think about it, all right? And tomorrow we'll continue. See you then.